Hi, it's Jason with video number 2 about love. So last time I had gotten as far as the first big change of love in our lives, where we move from our family love, which should be unconditional. We're loved simply because of who we are. We're a son, we're a brother, we're a sister, we're a daughter. And then we go into society where we're not loved simply for who we are, but for characteristics or attractive qualities that we have. And we start to fret about that a little bit. We start to get self-conscious, well documented that middle schoolers and high schoolers as well become very self-conscious, very concerned about how they look. Because we know we can be judged very quickly just on appearance. So it's more important that we get this certain kind of brand, we wear something that's not way out of style, that we don't have a pimple, and all these sorts of things. And we start to care a great deal about how we present ourselves, how people perceive us, because we want affection, we want validation, we want, let's say for some people, maybe we want lots of people to like us. For some people, it's not important that a lot of people like us, but we have to have at least this small group of people accept me. We have to have someone out there whose love I've earned, or whose affection I've earned, not just the love of my parents. That's kind of not satisfying. It's great for home, but if I'm going to be independent, I have to eventually break free from that in a sense, and earn my way through life, and that means I have to earn my friends or earn affection. So we started to develop this, and then it comes maybe to a really big crescendo when we start to find out that we have these crushes, which also starts probably in middle school and then into high school. Now we're even more concerned. And you look at a lot of the phrases used in romantic songs and romantic movies, they show this need for validation, right? And it's even, we use phrases like, how can I make her see me? Or how can I win her heart? I'm gonna win your affections. I want you to want me, right? Things like that. Or even when there's already a relationship, we still need, to some degree, some constant validation that the relationship will continue, that we're being seen. It's like, I can't imagine living my life without you, or you complete me. These phrases, one has to question if these are actually phrases of love or not. We've drifted from our first experience of love to this new love. And I'm going to talk about now what I would say is a good definition. I probably should have done this in the first one, but love is the desire for the well-being of another, for their spiritual well-being, for their physical well-being, for their emotional well-being. You want what is good for them. Okay? And this has levels to it, of course. It has levels. But if that's the base level, then that's why it's possible to love people you haven't even met. That's why you could, go out of your way to help a stranger, because just as a human being, you value them enough that you don't want to see them stranded by the side of the road. You wouldn't want to see them in this bad situation. You'd want to help them because they're a human being, and you care about each human being enough that at least you would do the bare minimum to help ease suffering or to improve a situation for someone. But the more we love someone, the more we're willing to stick our neck out for their well-being, until we get all the way to a sacrificial love, where we want someone's good so badly that we're willing for ourselves to be hurt for their sake, in a sense. I'm willing to make myself poorer to make this person better off. I'm willing to use up my free time on Saturday to give this person, to help this person do a huge chore that would be super exhausting if they had to do it by themselves. You're willing to make sacrifices for people you love because you want what's good for them, to the extent that you're even willing to make your own life more difficult. And of course, you can say the ultimate for that is willing to die for someone, willing to give your life for someone that they might live. But that's not a very common scenario, but it can happen, of course. Okay? And this goes back to what I was talking about with the first example with parents. Being a parent is a very sacrificial decision because it changes your entire life. Any parent will tell you it takes up a lot of your money and a lot of your time and a lot of your heart to keep pouring and pouring and pouring yourself into your kids. But it's not a pain, surprisingly. I mean, sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's inconvenient, but it's not a pain. It's worth it. It's well worth it because if you actually do help them, if you can see that your actions are improving their life, in making their lives better, and helping them get through school, and helping them navigate life, and you're helping and helping, and you see that they're benefiting from it, it makes you very happy. It makes you very happy to do that. You're happy to help. That's the phrase we use, right? I'm happy to help. Sometimes we're not happy to help. But if you love someone, you are happy to help because the idea that you can make their life better is a wonderful idea. You want their life to be better, and wow, you got a chance to do it. So you do it. Okay? So to love someone is to want what's good for them. And the more you love them, the more willing you are to be involved in the improvement of their life, even at the expense of your own life. So it's kind of a spectrum, right? Anyway, going back now to the second kind of love that we saw, those lyrics, let's go back to some of those. I can't imagine my life without you. You complete me. How can I win her affection? I'm going to win her heart. Those kind of things. None of those expressions demonstrate that you want what's good for the other person. They demonstrate that you want what's good for yourself. Right? We've had songs like that come right out and say, oh, the way you make me feel. You make me feel so good. You make me feel like this. You make me feel like that. Well, that's not a confession of love. That's a confession of the love of self, that you love to feel a certain way, and this person makes you feel that way. And so you tell them, oh, you make me feel so great, so please keep hanging around me because you made me feel so good. Now, I'm not saying the other person should be slighted by that. That could be a compliment because, again, at a certain point, our egos get involved, and that's a validating thing, right? To be told that I make you feel better, oh man, that makes me feel good because now I feel like I'm valuable. It makes me feel like I'm contributing something really good here. And so, my presence makes people feel better. Good for me. I guess I have a quality. So it wouldn't necessarily be an insult to say it to someone, but it's not the same as a confession of love because what you're really saying is, I value how I feel, and I value you in a sense because you make me feel the way I want to feel, the way I enjoy feeling. But the end of all that isn't so much that there's a love for that person as much as there's a love for yourself. You can even take the phrase happy wife, happy life, which I'm not a big fan of, because it sounds like the end goal is to have a happy life. And so you make your wife happy, not because you love your wife so much that you would want your wife to be happy even if you didn't have a happy life. That would be a more loving thing to say. I want my wife to be happy even if I'm miserable. I still want my wife to be happy. But happy wife, happy life makes it sound like I'm going to make my wife happy because when she's happy, she's less, nagging or less this or less that, and it makes my life easier, makes my life better. That's how I take that phrase. Maybe that's not how people mean it. But it can sound that way. And we even use words like low maintenance and high maintenance too, right? Like we have to maintain the other person in order for us to keep our peace. But I'm digressing here, so I'm gonna get away from that. Anyway, you complete me, right? Again, the focus is me. Now the other person might take it as a flattering compliment, but the focus isn't so much now on I want you to be happy. I'll do whatever it takes to make your life better. And that will be a pleasure enough for me just to see you thrive, to see you do this. That would be a more loving thing to say, I suppose. But anyway, we do get these confused, and sometimes they overlap. It's true. I mean, when two people love each other, that's going to overlap. I mean, if making the person I love happy does make me happy in a way. Doesn't mean necessarily do it to make myself happy, but it is a natural byproduct, I guess. Just like it makes a parent happy to see their kids happy, to see them open their presents on Christmas Day and with the big smiles and all that stuff and laughter. It brings joy to your heart. I'm not sure if you do it for that reason, but you do get pleasure from seeing people you love enjoy life. So there can be some overlap, of course. But still, we all know our own hearts and our own motives, and sometimes a lot of what people say when they say "I want to be loved" is it's not so much that they're looking for love; is they're looking for validation, and that's different. That's different, and we'll get to that, how that's different. We'll get to that next time. But I have a few minutes left. So validation, of course, what's different about validation is it's not so much feeding my soul. I think love is what the soul needs. I don't think validation feeds that. I think what validation feeds is the ego. It feeds my pride. It makes me feel good about myself. Again, it makes me feel lovable. Not necessarily loved, but lovable. I have the ability to attract others. I have the ability to be valued by others. And that makes me feel more important. Makes me feel more wanted. And sometimes we mistake that for love. And I think that can be dangerous. But we'll get to that next time when we get further into what it means to want what's best for someone. Because that's what we're trying to say love is wanting what is best for another person.